Hi everyone, welcome to Kanuka Home Practice. I'm Megan and I'm going to take us through a power flow today based on the theme of the second chakra, the Svadhisthana. So we'll be exploring some playful transitions. If you'd like to grab any props you can, but probably not going to use any today. So please join me on the mat and I'll see you in a moment. Please join us in lying down on your mat and coming into reclining butterfly or cobbler's pose. So taking a moment just to relax your body down, bringing the soles of your feet together and allowing your knees to open out wide and your hips to gradually relax. Softening the shoulder blades down the back. Let's rest the palm of our hands just down between the belly button and the pelvis. And closing down the eyes, beginning to connect to your breath. Breathing in and out through your nose as you allow your awareness to internalize. And starting to tune in to your second chakra. This is located in the area of the pelvis. Its color is orange and its element is water. This chakra is about pleasure and is blocked by guilt. So today we're going to clear our second chakra and enjoy some playful and free-flowing movements which may or may not culminate in some rolls for you today, specifically a backward roll, if that feels right for you by the end of the flow. So let's allow our breath to deepen and send the breath down into the pelvis and visualizing an orange jewel glowing here. And I invite you to begin this session by silently affirming to yourself, I love my body, I enjoy my body. So let's begin now, starting to bring your knees up and your feet wider than the hips apart. Just check your low back feels grounded to your mat and the arms can rest out to the sides. So starting with the right leg, keeping the knee a little bent, we're going to begin these hip circles. So circling your right leg wide, skimming along the floor and away before circling back in. And just allowing your hips and pelvis to sway or move naturally as you do these rotations, as you explore the movement in your hip joint, the sensations, circulation. Breathing naturally. And just a couple more rotations this way. And then rotating in the opposite direction. How does this way feel in your hip joint? Just allowing the hips to rock a little. Our hands are out to the sides, providing any stability. Checking your breath is flowing. In the last circle here, and releasing the right foot down, a little wider than the hip, we pick up the left leg, and beginning rotations on this side. Knee tucking towards the body, skimming close to the floor before circling back in. Another couple. And then changing directions. Just moving at a pace that's right for you. Always just checking your edge with any movement or pose, and recognizing if you need to slow down or drop back. Last circle here, and we're going to bring the knees right into the chest, the arms out at shoulder height, and start to bring our knees down to one side. Try to keep our shoulders down as we draw back up through center and exhale across to the other side, moving with the breath now. Last one, each side. Bringing the knees back up through center and holding on to your feet. Let your knees go wide and starting to relax your shoulders down to the earth, dropping into the breath and gently drawing your feet towards the groin. We're going to hold this stretch, another couple of rounds of breath. Just encouraging the hips to release. One more deep breath here. And then start to transition to happy baby. So bending your knees, holding onto the outside edges of your feet. And again, a breath in. And releasing to gravity as you breathe out. Let your shoulders relax to earth, your arms become heavy. And breathing into the hips, the pelvis. Noticing all the sensations. And we're going to allow a little rocking side to side. Just exploring here. The second chakra, it's about playfulness. It's about pleasure. Sometimes about just dropping the rules, the expectations, and just doing a little what you feel like in the moment. Maybe it's something new to your body. Giving yourself that freedom. We're going to come back to center and just sort of kick out the legs a little and then finish with some jigging here. Sometimes this is called dead bug. And then letting that go, cross your ankles and rounding your spine. And we're going to rock all the way up to sitting And do that a few more times. And just play with the momentum. See what happens here. Maybe you get a little pause at the bottom. And last one, coming up to sitting. So with your legs crossed, hands around your knees or shins, we're going to start to flow into cat-cow with an inhale, lift up tall through the chest. Exhale, rounding the spine, rocking back. Breathing in, lift and lengthen. Breathing out, rounding back. Nice deep breaths, exploring the movement. So we're going to transition onto all fours. You might like to join me in rocking back and then rocking forward and playing with the momentum to get onto all fours. Or you're welcome to find any which way that suits. So on the inhale, reaching up. On the exhale, rocking, come forward, all the way onto hands and knees. With your hands out in front on the mat, we're going to rock the hips back to heels a moment. Take a nice stretch out through the spine and the chest. And then rounding slowly up onto all fours. And taking the knees wide, beginning some hip circles. So here, exploring your movement, your circles. You may like to close your eyes so you can really deepen into the sensations, just noticing anything coming up for you. Allowing those circles to grow a little bigger. And then maybe exploring anything that wants to express through the body, any other movements, any pauses. Maybe you're coming right forward onto the shoulders. Maybe there's a little cat-cow action in your spine as you round. See if this feels good to play with in your body. Arching and rounding the spine, integrating with those circles. When you're ready, we're flowing and circling in the opposite direction. How does it feel in your body? Noticing your hands. Noticing your spine and hips. Incorporating undulations with those circles, a cat-cow movement. Enjoying this movement, another couple of circles here. And then begin to rock your hips right back to your heels. Snuggle your hips right back. Taking a nice deep breath in and out through the nose. And we're going to wave through our spine now, taking a breath in. Start to rise up, pressing from the shins. And as you breathe out, slide your torso forward until shoulders are over the hands. And then rocking back on the inhalation, hips to heels, rounding your spine. As you exhale, flow your body forward, shoulders over the wrists. Start to release back on the inhale. Your spine might arch here. And as you exhale, rounding forward. Inhale, rocking back. Exhale, rounding forward, and this time with your shoulders over your wrists, we're going to press down, elbows stay close to the body, and inhale up to cobra. Exhale onto knees and sliding that hip back. A breath in and coming forward on the out breath, pressing down, and inhale. Exhale back, a breath in and out. Last one here, pressing down and breathing into cobra, breathing out back to child's. So we're going to do another version of this flow by tucking our toes, having our knees wide and rocking hips back towards the heels. So give it a try, and you can always come back to the first one if you like. So from this squatting sort of pose, your toes are tucked, arms out long. We're going to spinal wave. Take a breath in. Start to press from the balls of your feet, hollow your front body, and round your back body coming into plank. And now slowly let your hips lower, the toes stay tucked, and we lift the chest up here. To come out, we're going to tuck the chin, start to lift the upper back, spine, hips, bend the knees, take them wide and back to your crouched position. And let's repeat, coming up and over, firming your core. Start to descend your hip, lift the chest here. Exhale, rounding, tucking chin, press up through your back, lifting hips and bending knees. Drop your hip back. This is the last one, coming up and over. Breathing into this version of up dog. And breathing out, tuck chin. Push up through the back, hips. Bending your knees and holding a moment before coming up to straight legs, stepping your feet a little closer together. And we're going to have a static hold here in downward dog. Deepening into the breath. Body long and strong. Always that option to take a little pause coming onto the knees. One more breath in. As you breathe out, taking your feet wide and walking your hands in towards your feet. We're going to take a breath in and out, release the gravity, and hanging here, wide leg forward fold. Letting your spine decompress as you hang. And starting now to walk your hands towards your right foot. The right knee is going to bend, and you drop into a half squat stretch here. And then in a rhythm, walking to the other side and into that stretch. And we're moving side to side. Nice deep breaths. Inhale to walk. Exhale, dropping in. And this time as we come across to the right side, we're going to drop right down and hold this version. It's similar to Svadhisthana, but we're keeping our foot flat, toes pointing to the front of the mat, and see if you can keep the outer edge of your foot stretching down. The half squat side, nice and stretching. Help keep that leg wide with your arm. And then even see if you can take your hands to your heart and just hold here. And then reaching your left arm down towards the foot of the outstretched leg, other arm reaching to sky. Press the earth to keep your spine long. A breath in and out. Hands come to your heart. We're going to flip the foot coming onto the heel. And slowly down to sitting. If we can, do your best to lower down slowly. Nice deep breath here. Lean forward. Snuggle shoulder inside your bent knee. And either take your hand to the outside of the knee. Other hand can press from the leg and looking behind your shoulder. Or if you can bind, do so. A little pause, and then we're going to twist from earth to sky, looking over the left shoulder. Dropping into the breath here. So our next transition is to enter into reverse triangle. So we just make sure there's some space behind you. And we're going to circle our hands to the front and then stretch the left arm all the way back and see if you can straighten both legs as you reach all the way back. Lift your hip and open your heart space to sky here. Nice deep breath in. And slowly as you exhale, bend right knee. Start to lower your seat. And then come back to sitting. Hands at the heart. We're going to do that one more time. Circle back and open. And now this time we're going to come back and into that squat position with our seat up. So we're going to bend the knee. Come down to sitting a moment. Use your arms to help. And hopefully, potentially come all the way up. From here, nice deep squat. Bend your left knee and slide across and hold right here, toes to the front. You could have your hands down a moment, just be where you need to be, working the hip flexibility, and then maybe a little bit of a stretch here, so using our core brace to support our spine. A breath in. And out, hands to the heart, flip the foot, and down to sitting. So let's start to press against the bent knee. Maybe take the bind. And then looking over the right shoulder into the twist. So here comes fallen triangle. I'm going to circle to the front, press from my left foot to circle back, and open into my fallen triangle. Hips are lifting, standing arm is grounded, pressing from the earth. Feel free to drop your head back, and then we transition down and return to sitting. Nice deep breath, and when you're ready, circle back, lift, reach, and releasing your heart space and your hip space. And then this time we're going to see if we can circle those arms with momentum to the front to lift the hip back up and coming into that lunge. The other knee bends. Expect to work hard here as we stay low in the squat and press side to side. Letting your breath flow. Once more each side. And coming to the middle, sumo squat, pressing your hips right back, lifting your chest, take a breath in and out, coming to forward fold. And then with an inhale, lifting your head and chest, toe heel your feet in a little closer for malasana, and then coming down when you're ready. Take a moment to sink your base down to earth. Open up through the chest, lifting the crown. Dropping into the breath here. Let's take a breath in. And breathing out your inner thighs, press your upper arms, rounding the spine and tucking your chest. And then as you inhale, bring hands back to heart space and see if you can drop down to sitting. We're going to lengthen our legs out in front, take a breath in, reach up tall. And breathing out, rolling down the mat. You can keep your hollow body here, your quads, hip flexors, core brace, helping that descent with control. Okay, so coming down and setting up for half bridge transition. So we're going to have our heels nice and close to the butt and have a little play with a scissor kick over into plow. So for this one, we want a nice high hip. So start to lift your hip up, one shoulder arm, and then the next comes right under the back. And see if you can hold your heels a moment. And then take your hands, placing the heels of the hands a little closer to the spine. So your palms can cup your hips with your fingers, just wrapping around the outside here. We're going to raise our right leg up. Release it down. Transition, left leg up. And release it down. So the scissor kick, we'll have a little practice. We go back to the right leg, up. And see if you can get lift off to come all the way over. The right leg led the movement. We're going to let it lead the drop back into half bridge, supporting your hips again. Right leg, left leg down. So maybe roll down your spine here, take a little recovery breath, and then when you're ready, we're going to come back up and have a play with this transition. Left leg leading, so it can be slow, which is almost a little harder. Anytime you use momentum, it's a little bit easier, but you do want to know where you're going. So left leg leads to plow, left leg leads back to bridge. So it's there if you want to try it. Maybe you want to save it for another day, have a little play. And then when you're ready, we're going to hold in our plow and just take a little pause here. So remember in halasana, we want the weight across your shoulders, upper arms. You should be able to move your neck and head a little bit here. Doesn't matter if your feet don't touch the ground. You might need to support your back if they don't. Otherwise, feel free, hands to the floor. Interlaced. All right, so we're going to start to set up for our backwards roll with knee to ear pose. So tucking both knees across the body and towards your right ear. Now go slow here and let what you feel guide your movement, always playing the edge. You can feel the weight is across the right upper back and shoulder, and the hips over to the side. This is what we're going to use. Feel your right shoulder taking some weight here. And then we're going to step 1, 2, feet, legs across to the left shoulder. And same again. You can feel some momentum and gravity, almost taking the weight over to the left side. Slow and controlled. And then coming back to center. So a little shoulder stand with your elbows walking in nice and close, shoulder distance apart, reaching the legs up. And then we're going to start to lower the right leg towards the right ear and bend that knee down. Lower the left leg diagonally towards the other leg and feel the weight tipping to the right shoulder. We're going to do this as slow as we can. The left hand is going to intuitively help with stability, and we're going to clear the head as we come onto the left knee. Slowly, slowly round your body and square up to the front of your mat. And we just did a back roll. So walk yourself in. Come down to sitting. When you're ready, just come straight up into the shoulder stand. Have the left leg lower. Start to bend the left knee. The right leg, we're just going to control that leg and let the weight tip towards the left side. So now's the time we want the right hand to stabilize. Straight leg stays straight. Left leg bends, clear the head. Square your hips, shoulders in line with the front of your mat. Coming onto all fours. And then hopefully we've just done our backwards roll on the left side. Okay, so the last one here now is a fun little back roll transition from Halasana plow backwards roll to equestrian pose and a little step through. So let's see how we go. When you're ready, rolling down. You can transition, including your little half bridge scissor kick if you like, or just raise the legs up and over. And you could go from shoulder stand or from plow. The right leg heads over to the right side, the right knee comes down, and we're going to keep the left leg nice and straight. Clear the head, shoulder, left leg stays straight, 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 and then steps to the front, sink the hip. Once you feel squared up and stable, take a deep breath in, lifting your arms to sky. Exhale your hands to the heart. Press hands down and step the back leg through and come down to sitting. Breathing in and breathing out. So let's go for the other side, with or without the scissor kick. With or without your shoulder stand. The left leg goes to the side, you're already bending the knee. Commit to the right leg staying straight. Start to ground the bent knee. Keep reaching right leg back, back, back as you swivel to a nice squared up position with your mat and step the back leg through. Dropping down, releasing hip, opening chest. Deep breath here, lift your heart to sky. Exhale, release your hands down, tuck your back toes, lift the knee, tuck, step through and come down to sitting. And breathing in, lift your arms up, breathing out, slowly coming down. Bending your knees now and hugging them into the chest. rocking a little side to side and just giving your low back a massage. Let your hips be fluid and buoyant. And then slowly bring your knees over to the right, looking along the left arm as we relax here in a gentle spinal twist. So well done for giving the backward roll a try and playing with the body, playing with your hips. We're going to come up through center. So all these rolls, we have our side rolls, rolling forward, up and down the spine. And now maybe you have a backward roll transition to add into the mix as well. Let's come back to center and final resting pose. So maybe you'd like to come back into reclining butterfly, or maybe another pose of your choice, your hands resting between the navel and the pubic bone. Let's just bring our awareness back to that glowing orange jewel, our second chakra, the Svadhisthana. Today we allowed ourselves to play and explore, be uninhibited perhaps, and try new things. I hope today that you've removed perhaps a couple of blocks from this chakra. You're feeling a nice flow in your body. So I invite you now to stay here and enjoy a longer Shavasana resting time. As I close this practice, thank you for joining me today. Namaste.